My heart is full of love because we are live with the community. This is the October 2023 Power Platform Community Call. Today is October 18th. How did we get here? More than halfway through October, but well on our way to fall. Excited for all the things that we have coming up the rest of this year, as well as this call. So let's talk about what's on the agenda. We've got a special request for demos. We'll get to that in just a minute. We've got some upcoming events in the community. We've got our favorite time, which is picture time with the together mode. And then we've got 3 all-star presenters of the day. Søren is going to kick it off with making your data work for using entity field mapping with Power Apps. Sara is going to add on with opening custom pages using JavaScript and model-driven apps. Keith Atherton is going to round it out. The MPPC 23 Chronicles conference recap and highlights for all those who were unable to attend. We wanted to bring you all the goodness that was announced in case you didn't see. Now, you may be thinking as you're watching all these wonderful demos today, I want to present on this call. I got some cool things to show off, and we would welcome you to do that. This call is open to everyone to present a demo. Now, don't overthink this, everybody, because it doesn't need to have some sort of flux capacitor that makes time travel possible. It can be a simple feature that you are in love with. It can be a tip or trick that you want to share with the community. It can be a solution that you just learned how to create and you want to show it off. Don't overthink it. Absolutely, you are welcome to present. We would like to provide you assistance as well. If you don't have any experience or you feel a little nervous about doing it on your own, we can buddy you up with a member of the team, member of the MVP community, or Microsoft, so that way you can collaborate on whatever presentation you'd like to present and work on it together and then present it together. Now, for next month, we know that there's been a little thing. I don't know if you've all heard about it yet. There's Microsoft has this new thing called Copilot. Anybody hear about that yet? I think we've all heard about it, right? So we would like to throw out a request for next month. We are requesting some Copilot demos. That can be on any of the products that you want to show off. And we've got a few different opportunities in which you can take advantage of some of the Copilot functionality that April's going to talk to us about in a moment. But we are requesting Copilot demos for next month. So please fill out the form, reach out to myself directly if you have any questions. We would love to see what you are doing with this new amazing technology. So let's kick it off with some news and updates. Jocelyn's unable to make it here today, so I'm covering it on our connectors. Just wanted to give out the numbers. We've got 292 independent publisher connectors, which is more than Microsoft, by the way, which is awesome. So we want to congratulate everybody there. Now, there is an opportunity to join the preview to enable it as a Copilot plugin. So just go to that URL, aka.ms/ISV plugin preview, and fill out that form and let everyone know that you are interested in doing that. All right, so Jocelyn will be back soon to give us updates on where she's at and what she's doing, exciting stuff. And we have the latest news with
April, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Latest news here. So someone mentioned Copilot, hot off the presses. Blog post just went out. Power Apps Copilot is now generally available. So woohoo for that. Excited to see that GA. Other things, if you missed the Power Platform Conference, there's a couple blog posts that you're going to want to check out. The first one, supercharging low code with the Power Platform. That's going to be Charles's overview of all of the major announcements there, but there's a Power Apps specific one as well. Power Apps announces new Copilot capabilities, model controls, and governance. That's a blog post by Ryan that kind of summarizes the big Power Apps related announcements that were talked about at the conference. Other big thing, there is a new Power Automate plugin for ChatGPT. So if you're using ChatGPT and you want to interact with Power Automate, you can do that now with a new plugin. And finally, there's more Copilot improvements in Power Pages. If you were at the Power Platform Conference, you saw some of those in action, but there's a blog post there that covers all of the updates for Power Pages Copilot. So make sure to check out the Copilot goodness and all the MPPC announcements there. But that's not all. Speaking of Copilots, what do you need to really be able to use the Copilot? You need a prompt. So that's why we have our Power Platform Prompt Repository. So this is your one-stop shop to be able to get ideas of the things that you can put into all these Copilots, whether it be Power Apps, Power Automate, Pages, Power Virtual Agents, even things like AI Builder in Azure and OpenAI. You can see all the prompts that have been used, tested, make sure that they work, and put in your prompts to share with the community. We are just finished our Power Platform AI Hackathon. So anyone that participated, I'm sure you have all kinds of ideas and things that you use in the Copilot. Would love to see you share those with the overall community in this repo so everyone can see some ideas of what you can use with those. Now, when you're using prompts, though, you probably would love a way to manage those internally, right? If you're rolling out these copilots and AI tools with your organization, that's why we created the prompt manager application. So that's on the Power Platform samples repo. It's a Power Apps responsive, Power Apps Canvas application that you can use that allows you to categorize, tag your prompts for all of the different AI tools you're using, Power Platform or throughout the Microsoft or other ecosystems. Easy copy and paste button, and it allows you to curate a collection of your favorite prompts. So make sure to check that out as well. Now, that's not all we have. It's not just all Copilot stuff up in here. We have a lot of good Power Platform samples as well. Sahir was really busy this last month creating some great Power Apps samples. The first one is an editable subgrid. Now, I know I heard from a lot of people at the Power Platform conference, this is one of the top wanted controls in Power Apps is an editable subgrid. Well, it's okay. Sahir has one for you until we get one in product. In the meantime, you can use his editable subgrid sample, which is responsive. You can use that in your Power Apps to be able to have editable grids. The other one that he was hard at work creating was the Chat Canvas app. This is actually basically a WhatsApp kind of application that is responsive and allows you to see from a good UI perspective, things that you can do for having kind of inline chat and how you can do responsive design inside of Power Apps Canvas app. So great work here on those two samples. All right, back to you, David.
Awesome, thank you. The reason I paused is because I was trying to do the and with the whole April Dunham thing into my Stream Deck was not working at the time, so epic
and then
fail.
I couldn't handle the awkward silence, so I introduced myself.
We'll edit it in post. It'll be great. It'll be great. No one will ever know except all of you. All right. Now, you saw all these amazing things, all these amazing samples, all these resources that are available. How can you take advantage or even contribute back to them? Well, our Sharing is Caring program is here to provide that guidance. It's hands-on, safe space. It means that we are going to join Teams calls together, accomplish things live, like submitting a pull request into GitHub, or I don't know, what is a pull request? We'll identify all that together. We had a session scheduled last week, but due to some illness that came from lots of the traveling, unfortunately, we had to reschedule it, but we're looking to get it rescheduled for November and December. We know there's some downtime and everyone wants to take advantage of that time to do more in the community, so we want to be there for you. We're also looking at setting up some office hours for this. So if you have any specific questions that you don't want to dedicate in a whole hour-and-a-half session to, you just have some questions that you want answered, we're looking to do that as well. And we've got some videos that are coming soon too. We were able to record that during the AI Hackathon with April, and we're going to be making that available to everybody to consume on demand, which is fantastic. So keep an eye out at aka.ms/sharingiscaring. Now, once you have contributed, you've all likely been seeing all these awesome badges the last few days on the Twitter sphere, X sphere, I guess maybe, and LinkedIn. Well, we want to make sure that you know they are open and available to everybody. So take advantage. We've got our pumpkin spice, a lot of commits that I worked with April on building, and we've also got our slice of samples coming soon. That's a slice of pie, slice of samples. That'll be fun. But this month only, Hacktoberfest. So definitely get those contributions in. You only need one to submit, and you are eligible to earn that Hacktoberfest badge. But we only have a couple weeks left, so take advantage. Make sure you opt in at ak.ms/community/recognition. We want to make sure that you are absolutely awarded and recognized. These are certified creditly badges that you can add to your resume, LinkedIn profile, all of the above. So take advantage, no cost to you. We cover all the costs by way of the community, and we want to ensure that you're recognized for that work. So thank you all for those that have done work in the community. We've got some upcoming shows and events. So we've got our Chicago 365 EduCon coming up at the end of this month. That is available the 30th of October to the 3rd of November. So definitely take advantage of that. I know a number of people are looking to get involved there and or already going. ESPC is coming up as well. Daniel mentioned in the chat, we have a ton of opportunity coming up for lots of in-person events. We've got the Evolve conference that is just around the corner. So definitely take advantage of that. Rebranded ly/EvolveCon 2023. Links are in the chat. You can take advantage of that as well. This is a fantastic one done by the Textilers. But we've got a number of other events that are available to you, and these links will all be coming soon to a chat near you. So definitely click on any of those. And you're always more than welcome to submit these events if you've got any coming up. Take advantage of the community days. So if you go to ak.ms/community days, you can add your events there. It is no cost, and show off to the rest of the community all of the wonderful things and that you are doing in your geographic area, or if it's available virtually or a hybrid, that's all okay too. So we definitely want to encourage you to share it with the community. All right. We are just about on time here, so I think it is picture time. So if everybody wants to crack open those wonderful cameras so that we can see your fantastic faces, I will turn on together mode here. Let's pick something that's large enough to fit as many as we can. Let's see. Let's go to our auditorium. All right. We should be loading. Come on, teams, you can do it. There we go. All right, and then let me turn on the, there we go, move that out of the way. All right, we got room for a few more. Come on, if y'all want to show it off, I guess I should turn on my camera too, right? All right, there we go. All right, I see some coming into play here. Oh, excellent, you're all looking wonderful today. Let's start kicking off the recording, and all right, give it a wave, everybody. Let everybody know how awesome you are doing on the community. We're a little pixelated, I guess, but it's for our protection, I suppose, right? It's Teams Protection Agency. Okay, all right, excellent. You look fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, good. Okay, all right, well, it is, that came down, okay. Time then for us to get into our fantastic presenters of the day. Yes, let's get kicked off. So, Søren, you are first. You are going to take the lead on making your data work for your using, making your data work for using, yeah, see, I can speak, making your data work for you using entity field mapping with Power Apps. Please take it away.
All right, thank you very much, David. So let's see here, and I'll go ahead and share my screen. And you should all be looking at a beautiful, very simple model-driven app here. Yeah, so I'm Søren. I've been working as a for consultant work doing Power Apps and doing mainly model-driven apps for 4 years, and I just love Power Apps and model-driven apps. So when David gave me the opportunity to demo something, I thought of this right away. This is something that I show quite a lot of people. It's in my mind an underutilized feature of Power Apps, or specifically of using Dataverse, that can do a lot of really amazing stuff and maybe help you out. So basically, what it does is that you're able to, when you're creating a new record, you're able to copy over data from a parent record quite easily. So let's just go and see an example of this. So I have a project. In this project, I have some KPIs, for example. Let's say that I have my overall KPI is green, my financials KPI is green, my risk KPI is green, and the timeline KPI is green, because everything is just going great. Everything is going great right now. So and I have some other data here on this parent record, this project record. So what I want to do now is create a snapshot of my current KPIs. So I have a subgrid here for the project, and I just saved my data, and then I'll go into creating a snapshot. I'll just select a snapshot date. It's today. And what we can see already is that the end date, the status, the KPIs, they're all copied over immediately because I have this entity field mapping enabled. So how did this work? So I can just go ahead and save this record and close it. And here I can also see in my overview of snapshots, I have this here from the snapshot from today, where all these are green. So I didn't have to fill out anything except just update the fields on the parent record, and then they're automatically copied over when I create the new record in the child table. So how does this work? So the way we do this is, let's go into the maker environment on my environment here, and I'm in my solution. Of course, we're always working from a solution. Now, unfortunately, we have to go to classic mode to do this, but I'm hoping that now that everyone is starting to use this feature, it's going to be available on the modern interface as well. So anyway, the way we do this, of course, in our solution, we have our entities or our tables, and then we can go into, and actually it doesn't really matter which one of them I go into. Let's just do it from the project. So the project has a number of snapshots related to it. So it's a one-to-many relationship, one project with many snapshots. So I'm looking at the one-to-n relationships for projects. And here I can see the relationship between the project and snapshot entity or table. So what I do is I open this, and then under mappings, I can select which fields should be mapped from my source table to my target table. So right now here, I already have every one of the fields filled out. Let's just delete one of them, the timeline, just so we can see what it looks like. And then we'll create it again. So if I go in and select new, and it was the timeline. So it's the timeline here on the target. I can only select right now fields that haven't been mapped already. So it also helps me see which ones are available. And then on the source, here I can select any one of the available fields. So here I'm also selecting the timeline. So now I'm connecting the timeline field on the project with the timeline field on the snapshot. So in order for this to work, I need to have the fields created on both tables. They need to be the same type of field. But once that's done, this could be a choice field or a date field or a text field, anything like that. So once that's done, we can just save that and close that, and then go back to the app and see the way it works. So here in the example, I have the snapshot date. I have a date, or the date I'm filling out manually, but I have an expected end date. That's a date field. I have a status field, a text field, and I have choice fields, which are the KPI fields. So one way of using this, just wrapping up, because actually it's not a long demo. That was actually mainly what I want to show. But sort of two main use cases for this: snapshotting data quite effectively. Another use case could be if you have security. If you want to, you can use it for security purposes. Let's say you have a parent record that only some people should have access to. You have information there that not everybody should be able to see. If you're working in the call center, or if you're working in the medical field or something like that, that you have, let's say you have patient information, that is the main information, and then you have some people that should just see only some of it, only some parts of it. Then you can create this sub-record, which is just the what was going on in this specific call or in this specific instance, that only copies over some of the information. So that would be another way of using it for security purposes, where it only where it can copy over some of the relevant information, but you're not seeing all of the information on the top level. Yeah. So if there's any questions, you can ask them in the chat, or also you can reach out to me afterwards for any follow-up questions. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you, Søren. Now, just as a little history for everybody, Søren answered a call that we had at MPPC. We reserved a spot because we wanted new presenters, and we're kind of going towards a back to basics opportunity. There's been a lot of requests for kind of basic maker-like functionality and showing off some of that particular features and stuff like that within the solutions and the products. So Søren answered that. So thank you, Søren. Let's give him a little bit of some community love, right? We absolutely love it when first-time presenters come on. So great job. Really appreciate it. Søren, I think you did actually create a little bit of a slide, a bio slide. I think maybe you just forgot to show it off when you first started. You want to bring that up, and that way we can at least just get it recorded and everybody can kind of know who Søren is?
Yes, definitely. Let's see here. So this is yeah. So yeah, I forgot all about it. I was so excited that I wanted to show you this app. So yeah, making your data work for you using entity field mapping, and this is me. Yeah, I'm working as a solution architect. I have pretty much every single one of the Power Platform certifications you can take, except for the PL500, the robotics automation, unfortunately. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube or X, the Power Apps Viking, or my blog, the Power Apps Viking. Or yeah, reach out to me on LinkedIn or here on the call. I'm also always joining these community calls because this is such an amazing community.
Awesome.
So yeah,
good stuff. So thank you, Søren. Very, very good job. Really, really appreciate it. Can we send like smoke signals and carrier pigeons to contact you as well? Is that okay? Is that all right?
Definitely.
Nobody crickets. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Excellent job again. Okay, let's move into our next presenter. Sara is going to cover opening custom pages using JavaScript and model-driven apps. Take it away.
I will. Let me show you my screen. So
Can you do the whole thing while singing, by the way? Is that possible? Can you? I'm just
Come on
kidding.
back.
She's like, is he serious?
I could. No, but I'm a bit damaged, so I made a PowerPoint first. But I'm not going to spend too much time on the PowerPoint, I promise. So this short demo is about opening custom pages in model-driven apps using JavaScript, but do it like a boss and not like the MS Learn does. So you want to know. My name is Sara Lagerquist. I work as an application architect at a small Swedish company in Stockholm. I started out as a user in 2013, so I'm like an administrator background. I don't have no background in IT whatsoever. Spent 2 years, then I turned to the dark side and became a consultant. I was awarded the MVP in 2019. I had a small break when I went through cancer treatment, but I'm cancer-free since 2021. And that's pretty much it. So what is custom pages? Custom pages is this thing that's been around since about 2021, actually. That is a convergence between Canvas apps and model-driven apps. It's something in between. It's a way of extending your model-driven apps with with Canvas apps, sort of. Canvas app functionality, but make it more part of your model-driven app. So why would you want to do that? Because you probably, if you're building model-driven apps, which Søren, I love it too. I love model-driven apps. But there's very many scenarios where the out-of-the-box functionality is not enough. And by utilizing custom pages, you can actually go around that problem. And you can go around that problem still using low code. Before, our other options was actually going to pro code alternatives like HTML, web resources, and different sort of things. Now you can do it a lot easier. You can also do things that are having multiple tables on the same screen and updating them at the same time, which is not a very nice experience if you try to use that in model-driven apps. And also, like you can do with Canvas apps and not model-driven apps, you can connect with different data sources than just Dataverse. So if you want to use a custom page in a model-driven app and have it just in the sitemap, you need no code for that. You don't need my magic JavaScript. You don't need anything. You can just put it in the sitemap. And that is good for use cases where you maybe want to have a wizard-like experience or something that does not require a record context. You want to navigate to that from anywhere. And this is especially good use case when you are connecting to different data sources. But then you have different options. So you can have your custom page as a dialogue, either in the center or at the side. You can have it as a side pane. And the difference here is that when you navigate through your model-driven app, the side pane actually stays put. So you can yes, like the new Outlook and Edge, you know, it stayed there. So what is the challenges with custom pages? So without this magic JavaScript, TypeScript that I'm going to show you, you can't get a record context. Just using modern commanding and just using a model-driven app, you can't get record context. In very many cases, wanting to use a custom page to for example, replace a center dialog. Something should happen to this record. I want to fill in some context and then save. You need that record to actually be able to save more from that record. If you go to Microsoft Learn and other sites, it's kind of hard-coded. The examples are hard-coded on like your placement, your size, your page name. All of those options are hard-coded, which is making your solution not very flexible. So if you have a solution that needs several custom pages, you would need several JavaScripts and your solution would be a mess, and no one wants that, right? So the solution is this. I made my friend and colleague, Benedict Bergman, write this TypeScript JavaScript. So it's all on his blog where he explains exactly how he written it and why. For people who don't care, you can just copy paste it. Then I wrote a blog on how to actually use it, but you don't have to read that either because I'm going to show ya. Okay, demo. First, oops, there we go. First, so this is the Learn site, for example. If you want to open your custom page as an inline full page with a record context, you see here that the name, the logical name of the custom page, the entity name, the record ID, this is the navigation orbit, the target, that is hard-coded in this example. So what you can do if you, sorry, you're in the, you take Mr. Benedict's awesome blog and he written it in 3 parts. So you just take these, click the JavaScript part, take these 3 snippets, copy paste it, save it as a JavaScript file, upload it into your solution. So you have it as a web resource. When you've added it as a web resource, a JavaScript or TypeScript, depending on, read his blog, you'll understand. You'll go into your model-driven app, open the modern command where you want it, if you want it from the form of your table or if you want it from the view of your table. In my example, I'm using it on the account form. So what I do is I add a new button. Then instead of running formula, I run the JavaScript. I add a library, and that is where I add that web resource that I just uploaded in my solution. In that JavaScript, there's a function. There's only one function. It's called Open Custom Page. Surprise. Then it allows me to send through 8 different parameters into that script, or into, yeah, sorry, I was distracted. Someone came in. So this means that I can use this script to open all of my different pages. I just set all those settings as parameters. So here, for example, my first parameter is the schema name, the logical name of my custom page. The second parameter is the heading of the dialog, for example. I'll show you in a minute. Parameter 3 and 4 is about sending the record context. Parameter 5 and 6 is about how the size of it. And parameters 7 or 8 is if it's going to be full screen, dialogue, side pane, or how you want to do it. So let me just show you how this works easily. So here is my account form for Sara's Pizzeria. Up here is my modern command button. And as you could see in my demo, I put it in to be 80% of the screen. These parameter 5 and 6 can actually also be changed to numbers and take in the pixels that I want, but I kind of like the percentage part of it because then it's responsive in a nicer way. So let's hide you. Click, and you see this is the heading that we were talking about, which I can then adapt depending on my page. And this is 80% and it's center dialog. So let's quickly change some of this. Let's say 30% of the screen and to the side. Bear with me, fingers crossed my internet is with me. Boop, boop, boop. Publishing. I only have one screen at the moment, and you are all muted and so quiet. I'm not sure if I'm talking to myself, but
Oh, you're
let's
not. You're
hope
good.
not.
We get.
Okay.
I was gonna play Jeopardy music for us while we were waiting, right? But
do, 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 do. I should have sang. That's what you wanted, right?
absolutely.
Let's reload this and check if it's changed. Fingers crossed. Nope. Let's reload one more time. See? And again, yes. Now you can see it opens to the side like I put in at 30% instead. So by using this, again, I can open all my custom pages with one JavaScript. It's really flexible and it's quick to change. If my customer or me wants this page to open in a different way, it's just a setting. The downside, which you should be aware of, is the parameters has to be in this order. There has to be all 8 of them, or I think you can lose the 7 and 8 because they're default parameters in the script. But if you want to use all of these, you have to put them in this exact order. And the UI is not giving you any help with naming parameters. You can't put like drag and drop them up and down. So if I accidentally forget to put in my schema here at the top or accidentally remove it, now I have to remove them all because my new ones start at the bottom. So it's not super user-friendly in that way, but just put in your 8 and try not to delete them and you're gonna be fine. So a quick tip besides that, to make your model-driven apps extended by custom pages is you want to make sure your user get the same feel and look like a model-driven app. And the absolutely easiest way to do that is by using the Creator Kit, which is a bunch of PCF controls that actually make your custom page more look and feel like a model-driven app, because you don't want to confuse the users with presenting them with a completely different UI. So that's one tip. Here, for example, is a page I created where I'm using it's really small on my screen, but where I'm using the sub-nav navigation to the left, because this is sort of a wizard-like page. And then I'm using the detailed list, which replicates a view from the model-driven apps. And by that, it makes this actually feel like a part of the model-driven app. My customer has no clue that I actually built this more in a drag and drop kind of way. Another tip is to look at Benedict's guide on TypeScript. He keeps telling me, and I have no clue, that TypeScript is the way to go compared to JavaScript. But there's a whole setup that you should think about if you want to do that. And there's a guide on his blog about it. I also want to send out a small warning, like custom pages does add complexity to your solution. Only use it when it's the best solution, when it's necessary. Don't overuse it, because you're going to hate yourself fixing stuff that is somewhat a part of out of the box already or something like that. And if you want my slides after, which you can get if you contact me, this is just the code I use on the start of my custom page to actually get that parameter from the JavaScript that I'm sending down with those parameter 3 and 4. And that's it. I do have an email that I rarely use. If you want to contact me that way, you are very welcome. I also have a blog with a contact form that actually goes to my email, so maybe I do use it. But you can also reach out on LinkedIn.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Sarah. I really love all this. I love the balance you brought to it as well in the end, the tips, the sort of an Uncle Ben principle, right? Custom pages adds complexity, don't overuse it. Great power comes great responsibility. So really enjoyed how you were showing it off. Love the jokes. You're fantastic. Really appreciate you bringing the demo to the community. All right. By the way, just got distracted by Craig's Home Alone house behind him, I think is what that is. If anybody's seeing him in the chat, sorry, I had a squirrel moment. All right, let's move on. Keith Atherton is going to cover the MPPC 23 Chronicles conference recap and highlights for all those that were unable to make it and wanted to kind of get a summarized view of what happened there. And hopefully we'll see you there next year. So Keith, take it away.
Thank you so much. Hopefully the screen is showing just there.
It is, yep.
Fantastic, thank you. So yeah, thanks Søren, thanks Sara, great presentations, really, really good. So a bit about me, I'm Keith Atherton. I'm a solutions architect and software developer. I'm based in Scotland. I'm also a Power Platform community super user and Microsoft MVP as well. So just as David mentioned, I'm going to go through the MPPC 23, the Microsoft Power Platform conference, a bit of a recap, some of the highlights that we saw while we were there. So first up, I was one of the lucky ones who managed to go this year. I was also very lucky enough to go to last year's, which was the first one. That was in Orlando, Florida. This year was in Las Vegas, and the main event itself, the conference, was 3 days in the first week in October, and there were some workshops either side of the conference days as well. So the agenda was looking really good. We had some really big name speakers. You can see April Dunham there, Chris Huntingford, many other great speakers as well. Some of the sessions were introductions, people new to the platform, new to different features, and some were technical deep dives, and kind of everything else was covered as well. It was a really good mix. So some stats on the sessions, there was around 110 speakers, around 150 sessions, and there was about 18 workshops either side as well. So one of the biggest problems was actually just choosing, with so many tracks running concurrently, which sessions do you make? But yeah, there was certainly some really great sessions on this time. So first off, Charles Lamanna, who's the Corporate Vice President for Business Applications and Platforms, he delivered the first keynote that kicked things off on the Tuesday. And we've got things like the announcements. April shared a link early on as well, which we'll cover in a moment. But that was named Power Platform in the AI era, and there was mention of AI co-pilots. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, there were some really good insights and good, interesting announcements there. So Charles mentioned other statistics as well, things like the Power Platform's got around 33 million monthly active users, and the uptake and the adoption has really grown a lot, even since the last conference. It really is growing, very quickly. So to give a short summary of all the announcements, so the first announcement was going to mention Copilot a lot here. We should do Copilot bingo. But new Copilot capabilities in Power Pages, making it much easier to build data-driven websites. Now, this was really handy. So the Copilot we can see there, it's quite small, but at the top it says build a banking site to collect student loan applications for Woodgrove Bank. So before, instead of starting from the blank page, creating it from scratch, this was just using a prompt, and within a very short space of time, it actually took you through the stages of what kind of layouts do you want? What kind of common pages would you be looking to use, such as about us, contact us, and so on. And even when you got to the end, you could use prompt engineering in the Copilot to make adjustments to the website where you had it there as well. There was even a cool example where one of the prompts was, okay, create a theme based on colors used by this business. You didn't need to provide the colors or open up your CSS or do any of that. The Copilot actually just went publicly to the website, pulled the theme colors across, and implemented them in the website. So really cool, really worth a play with. If anyone's looking to get started with Power Pages, not had a go yet, this could be something to help get you started. Announcement number 2, again, April touched upon this earlier on, that the Copilot for Power Apps has evolved. And there's a demo of it there on the screen. So on the left-hand side, we can see the Copilot control is actually there so users can take advantage of it. So rather than just us as makers using it to build something, that can look at the data and be useful for the end users as well. Now, when we select the Copilot control, we've got some properties here on the right-hand side. So we've got the data source items, which looks like it says something like risk mitigation requests. But crucially as well, further down, we've got up to 4 websites that we can also use to provide data to the Copilot. So really, really handy if you want to get many different sources of information for that one Copilot. Announcement number 3 was all about Power Automate. So the new flow designer, which can look, quite slick, quite neat, that got a good reception. The biggest reception was for the larger expression box, so you can actually see what you're doing, which is nice. You can actually see a lot more of the expressions in one go, which is very, very useful. And the Power Automate Copilot itself is now GA as well. And there were some other mentions of things like flow versioning, like you can do with Power Apps and many other things, and the process mining Copilot as well, to actually make processes a lot more efficient and just be able to, tweak and adjust these different processes so long as you've got the data for those processes. So again, probably a lot of opportunities with that one. The 4th announcement, this was a way of streamlining governance and security for your makers and a way of automating the managed environments. So on the right-hand side, I've zoomed in on this environment routing option, but this is a great way that you can direct new Power Apps makers into their own personal developer environments. So if that's something you're looking to do, it's a lot more convenient just by toggling the switch, turning that on, and people get redirected to those environments instead of trying to set up guides and actually enforce it in different ways. So yeah, very, very useful. And the last one, announcement 5, was about extending the Power Platform community. So we can see some statistics just there. Last year was the launch of the Power Up program. When it was at the initial MPPC, and we can see there was around 22,000 learners who've taken advantage of this, and around 180 countries as well. So really good engagement, really big adoption on that, and it's grown a lot over that last year. But going forward, the Power program's continuing. There's mention of individual learning, as it currently does, as well as group learning opportunities. There's also the Super User in Training, or SUIT program as well. So if you want to become a super user, that can involve helping on the forums. It can involve, mentoring people or giving video or blog content in the Power Platform community site. It's not just Power Apps, it's all parts of the Power Platform. I would highly recommend checking that out. It's a great program to be part of. And if you want to see more about the announcements, I know April has shared the link for this earlier on as well, but there's a handy link just here. David, I know, will share these links. We'll have them on the Power Platform community page for everyone to see as well, so no need to take notes at this stage. So there's a few other keynotes. I'll just go over these fairly briefly. There was a really good one, Inextricably Linked AI is a Copilot. This was by Thomas Domke, who's the CEO of GitHub, and you can imagine the CEO of GitHub's probably a big, important, busy person. He could have maybe knocked up a couple of slides and just talked over it. However, he didn't. What he did was much more interesting. What Thomas did was actually crack open Visual Studio Code and use GitHub Copilot to actually build the classic Snake game from the old Nokia cell phones. So he did this to create it. It was mostly just using web code, lots of JavaScript in there, and actually adjusted it, fixed things as he went, just talked through, and within minutes created a game using the Copilot. This Copilot's been around for a couple of years, the GitHub one, very, very popular. And in this as well, even found the time to get the 9-button display of the old Nokia phones as well for the up, down, left, right movement as well. So yeah, really, really impressive stuff. If you do want to check out the game as well, Thomas has naturally hosted this on GitHub on his own page as well, just known as Power Snake. So there's a few more keynotes. There was a really good one here, working with your Copilot, unlocking efficiency and collaboration for the new era of work. And there were some really good statistics there. We can see a couple on the screen of, many people do have concerns about AI replacing their jobs, but also many people, are considering using AI to lessen their workloads as well. So there's lots of kind of interesting factors with the use of AI and co-pilots. There's a really good one, another keynote as well, from Power BI to Microsoft Fabric, analytics in the era of AI. Of course, Fabric is relatively new and growing as well, really, really important, and some interesting insights there. And finally, as well, there was a keynote of Think Again, the power of knowing what you don't know, and there was a fireside chat hosted by Sangya Singh as well. The other good thing with the conference as well, we were lucky enough, depending on your thoughts on this, is that it was hosted in Vegas. So there was lots of opportunities, lots of shows, lots of entertainment, lots of things that you could take advantage of while you're there as well. So that was an interesting side to the conference for sure. And meeting other super users as well, and other people in the community. So many do so much, help on the forums, do lots of speaking, such as Søren and Sara today. So it was great to bump into some of the super users there and meet more people actually in person. And really that was the highlight for me. When you get the chance to meet people in person, some of them might be role models, people you follow online, people you look up to, or, you want to reach out to. It was a great opportunity to actually meet folks in person, have a chat with them, get to know them as well. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without meeting the dragons as well. So great to see David and Hugo in person again. Now, to find out about the next MPPC, the dates and the location have not been announced just yet, but here are a few links for their social accounts where you can stay up to date and find out when that becomes available. And if you do go, I hope to see you there. So with that, thank you very much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith. I was kind of cracking up myself as you were mentioning all the people that are celebrities and fans and role models. And then there's these two guys in costumes that I happen to bump into as well. Grown men in pajamas. It was fun, though, everybody. So we look forward to the next one as well. That was just a quick little brief overview of the events and all that happened. Keith, really appreciate you bringing that and sharing it with the community. Really also like how you brought out the benefits of showing up and seeing everyone else in the community, right? Being able to collaborate with one another, being able to spend time together, laugh again in person, break bread with one another and have a drink is really priceless to be able to do that with one another. So I think one of the benefits is learning at these conferences, but also is collaborating and seeing and working with all of your favorite community members. So definitely consider that as a benefit when you decide to go next year. All right. Okay, thanks. So again, wonderful presentations by all of our presenters today, Søren, Sara, and Keith. Thank you so much for bringing your passion and sharing it with the community. It would not be possible without all three of you and all the others that are contributing on a daily basis. So thank you, everyone. Let's talk about some resources. If you have any questions for our presenters today, and you should, then you can continue the conversation with them. We have our community calls, conversations that are available to you. These QR codes will take you to a Power Platform forums post for each of these demos today. You can ask questions, collaborate with Søren, Sara, or Keith, or hey, just let them know they did awesome. That is absolutely a contribution. It is well worth it to go spend a few minutes and say, really appreciated you taking the time out of your day to put together these presentations and share them with everyone in the community, because it is a lot of hard work and it is nerve-wracking sometimes to stand up live in front of everybody and share it. So that is a contribution. Even if you don't have questions, let them know you appreciated the work that they did. These links will be available in the chat afterwards as well. We've also got more resources available to you. The community front door, which kind of gives you access to all the variety of things like videos, samples, and the community pages for products like Power Apps, Automate, Power Pages, Power Virtual Agents. So take advantage of all these locations in which you can collaborate with the community on the products that we all love so very much. And of course, we've got our other community calls. So our weekly M365 and Power Platform community call, which happens on Tuesdays, is a call that's only Microsoft speakers, so you're going to hear directly from those product managers and program managers building and creating new things and would like your feedback. Of course, this is the monthly Power Platform call. We've got our Office add-ins and our sibling bi-weekly Microsoft 365 and Power Platform development community call, which is next week, and the Viva Connections SharePoint Framework, which is tomorrow. You can download all the invites from aka.ms/community/calls. Encourage you to do that. These calls are like a crystal ball. I call them into the what's now, what's new, what's next, that you're able to see what everyone else in the world is doing and using these technologies to create. So please definitely go get those invites on all of your calendars. And if you want to be like one of the cool kids, we've got our Discord server. We're up to, I think, over 700 members of the community have joined in our Discord server. It's definitely a nice one-stop shop to be able to see all the latest happenings and collaborate with other members of the community. And of course, you're probably in it for other things as well in your life. So it's a great singular place to be able to meet and greet and collaborate. We also would love to get some feedback from you on these calls. Please don't hesitate to let us know what's working, what you'd like to see more of. This helps us provide to our management that things are valuable like this for you, and continue to invest in it. So thank you all for attending today. The recording will be available within about 24 hours on the M365 Power Platform Community YouTube channel. You might see a little message in Teams telling you, hey, it's ready to download. Unless you're a Microsoft employee, it's a little liar, so don't believe it. But you can go to ak.ms/community/videos, which will give you access to all the YouTube accounts that are associated to our technology. Subscribe to them all. As soon as a new video is dropped, it will let you know and alert you, so you can take advantage of rewatching if you need to. You can also follow us on Twitter or X or whatever we're going to call it next, M365PNP, and you can join the LinkedIn community at ak.ms/community/li. Our next call is November 15th, in 1 month from today. Again, we're looking for those Copilot demos, so please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have an idea or you just want to show off how you've used those prompts or creating prompts. Absolutely welcome. We want to be able to highlight what you are using the technology to create amazing stuff with. So check out ak.ms/Power Platform Community Call, and we will see you all next month. Thank you, everybody.
Woo!